Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Random Wrestling Talk episode number 19. Boy, there's a lot of stuff that happened in 1 week with Sasha Banks and Naomi. Yeah, folks. Damn. Why we get information about supposedly Naomi was influenced by Sasha Banks. We're getting information about this, that, and the other, about how Sasha Banks and Naomi are unprofessional. The big word being thrown around by WWE on Monday and Friday night, leading to the weekend. As well as other things that was mentioned. The women's tag team titles were stripped from both of these ladies. And there will be a tournament for the women's tag team titles. Only one question: who's competing for them? What tag team division? Hell, the men don't even have a tag team division. So how do the women have a tag team division? Someone please explain that one to me. Not to mention, we've got information from last night. I was watching JD from New York 206's review about Monday Night Raw. And I actually looked this up myself and I couldn't believe this shit. Naomi and Sasha Banks actually walked out. Yes, Matthew, I said tournament. Oh, okay, you're asking like how many. Anyway, they left hours before Monday Night Raw went on the air live. Now, as you all may know, Vince McMahon's very well known. No sound, you're buffering. On my camera, I'm coming in perfectly fine. Nothing's freezing up. The minutes on the live is going perfectly fine. I don't know. That's the beauty about going live. Jeez. And now he says, okay, never mind. This is Matt 87 Eagle talking. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, so we're all very well known towards the fact that Vince McMahon loves to rip up scripts about an hour or two just before the show's supposed to go on the air, and he writes the show up all by himself. And yes, Rachel Buck, I will read those comments in just a moment. I'm doing the cold open to the show, and I will go into those comments. So don't worry, your comments in the chat will be answered and heard for everyone to hear what you said in the chat. So don't worry about it. I will get to that in just a moment. But yeah, I mean, like, we're all very well aware of what Vince McMahon loves to do just before a show goes on the air. So, I mean, this is nothing unusual. Like, you're telling me he couldn't fix the script so that he could, you know, replace the two women that were supposed to be in it originally? I mean, seems a little fishy to me. Seems like there's a vendetta by Vince McMahon in the WWE in my book. So who's being unprofessional now? I would have to say WWE's the unprofessional ones. Because let's face facts. WWE has pushed a lot of people away. Their fans, their talent, everybody. Hell, even the people that work for their fucking company as a desk worker probably doesn't even want to work for that fucking company anymore at this point. Hell, Stephanie McMahon herself doesn't want to work for this company. Oh, I will get into that with you guys. There's further information to why she ain't going to be working for the company anymore. And I hope it's a lot more. I didn't even read the article. I just saw the title of the article. So I will go over this with you guys once we get to that point. Let me go into some of the comments that were made before I went here live on the air. So let me go ahead. Rachel Buck actually had a couple of comments made here. Let me read them off to you. I need to ask you something. If Naomi leaves, does that mean the Usos will have to leave too? No, they're not going to leave. They ain't leaving at all. They're staying right where they are. Because that won't be good for WWE. So what do you think? Now you only what do you think about that? Rachel Buck, you kind of messed up there at the end. I apologize. So I'm trying to figure out what you were trying to say there with the mess up at the end with the error. I apologize. She's saying, so what do you think about that now? My idea and feelings on this is real simple. The Usos are not going anywhere. They're staying exactly where they are, and nothing's going to change that. Naomi being out of work is not going to change anything. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to use the Usos as much as possible, even especially with Roman Reigns gone for a long while until the pay-per-views for Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. So they're going to need them no matter what. They're probably going to be getting the most exposure out of everybody because they're part of the bloodline. Naomi is going to have her contract frozen up as well as Sasha Banks at this point. Neither one of these women can go anywhere, negotiate anything wrestling related if that's what they want to do. I do believe they have the capability of working some other field, like the entertainment field of some sort. I believe I might be incorrect about that. But technically, as long as it ain't wrestling related, like anything of competition with WWE wrestling, I believe they can leave. They can go off and do something else. That I do believe. I might be wrong about that, but I'm not 100% certain. And then Rachel Buck says, and guess what? I heard that Alexa Bliss wants to do a movie too. She wants to do what Sasha Banks wants to do. So it looks like soon we'll be losing Naomi, Sasha Banks, and maybe Alexa Bliss. Yeah, she's not getting anything on TV either. She had a match with Doudrop, I heard, last night, and it was nothing. It was just a short little dinky match that didn't even last but maybe 5 minutes if she was lucky. They have no plans for anybody. Look at the entire roster, man. Everybody wants out. Nobody wants to stay. Nobody cares. This is exactly what WCW went through. WWE is basically the NWO at this point. And the NWO, the funny part is, they were actually just a faction within a storyline. But the way they operated the NWO was like Hulk Hogan was at the top. Wait a second. Let's go to modern day WWE times. Who's at the top? Who's been at the top for a very long time? Roman Reigns since 2015. He's been the guy that everybody has been wishing would turn heel. He eventually did. Now that he's healed, nobody will ever take that title off of him. And I don't know who's going to take the title off of him. JD from New York 206 continues to predict that it will be someone like Cody Rhodes taking the WWE title and Drew McIntyre taking the Universal Championship. I highly doubt that will even happen. I really, really doubt. Some way, somehow, this guy, Vince McMahon, will continue to prove to us how much of a fucking retard he really is. I truly believe that. The only thing that's beneficial out of everything that's happened in the last week or so has been Roman Reigns, or not Roman Reigns, the Usos defeating Matt Riddle and Randy Orton for the WWE Tag Team titles. because now we get to see Matt Riddle become more serious, and we get to see Randy Orton be the old Randy Orton that we used to know and love as a heel, and a big obstacle for most faces to have to overcome, which is great to have. That's what wrestling needs, a great heel. So that I'm freezing up in picture here while I'm talking to you guys. So if that's happening, I apologize. I don't know what the fucking deal is. Last week was pretty okay. This week is coming out pretty bad. Who do you see beating the Usos for their championship? I don't see anybody. I see them in the same realm as Roman Reigns. And who the fuck do they got to face? They got nobody. There's no tag team division. Rachel Buck, there's no tag team division. What? There's 4 or 5 teams? Wow. So they'll have 4 or 5 teams do the same repetitive fucking matches with the tag team champions. Big fucking deal. I mean, come on. That's trash. 100% trash. Tag team wrestling in WWE is a dead concept. Shouldn't even exist. She also asked, who do you see joining the Judgment Day? Do you think it'll be Paige, Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa, or somebody else? I think it's going to be somebody else. I think it's going to be Dijakovic. He used to go by that name, and the main roster name he used to go by was T-Bar. I don't want to call him Teabag because that's the typical name that everybody would make fun of the name that he went by. But yeah, T-Bar is the guy that I think will be joining Judgment Day. He has not been utilized in any capacity, so I kind of predict that that is who's going to join the Judgment Day for Edge. Why they went with that name, I have no idea. It sounds very ridiculous. Judgment Day. I'm not even really interested in anything WWE has to offer. I've been following the news about WWE, and the more backstage news I get, the more confirmation I'm getting that my prediction is right. Eventually, WWE will be sold to somebody else. This guy has no care in the world. His talent has no care to be there, and they don't want to be there. So that is the situation within WWE as a nutshell. You can see the shows are very lackadaisical. Nobody gives a shit. The creative team don't care. Nobody cares about nothing. They care about the quick buck. They care about getting through the show real quick and calling it a day. That's it. Their main events don't even go but 6 minutes long. That's it. That's a joke. That ain't a main event. That's like a joke show. And AEW did that this past week with Adam Cole and Jeff Hardy. I thought that was absolutely tragic. I hope they don't do that again. That was terrible. Really. That sucked. Anyway, Rachel Buck also says, this is my prediction for who should join the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, the reason he could go back to being the Demon King and he can stay as the demon with Judgment Day. What do you think? It sounds intriguing. I don't think they'd put Finn Balor in that kind of position. He'd look too good. He probably would outshine Edge, and they don't want to do that. They don't want Edge outshined. What are you kidding? That probably is a great concept and probably should have Finn Balor take over Edge's concept with this faction to lead those two people, the Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, in this faction and overthrow Edge if you really want to get technical. So no, I don't think they're going to do that, even though that would be a great idea. I think your idea is fantastic. But the idea of them doing that, no, they're not going to do that because of the fact it will outshine Edge. Edge is just basically being a tapping into the psychotic Edge mentality that he used to have back when he was a real good heel in his prime. And he's just taken that with and combined it with the Undertaker the Ministry of Darkness type of concept. That's all this is. It's a complete ripoff of the Dark Ministry, the Ministry of Darkness. That's all this is. And that's why it's not really, at least working with me anyway. I don't particularly care for it. They cut off his hair. What the fuck did they cut off Edge's hair? What? So he'd look different? I don't want to see if Edge has got his hair cut. I would rather see him at a broadcasting table or something, not a wrestler with shit with hair short. That's not Edge. Edge is with long hair when he's wrestling. If he wanted to go acting, yeah, I could understand him cutting his hair, but he's not doing any of those things I just described. He's an in-ring talent. He doesn't need to cut his hair. He's going to look absolutely fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't like Edge. I've seen Edge with short hair. It doesn't work for me, at least for me anyway. And it's just hair, though. I mean, I'm not going to make a big deal out of somebody cutting their hair, but let's be honest. Do you prefer Edge, the long hair Edge, or do you prefer the trimmed, short-haired Edge? Come on, man. It's an easy answer, man. Like, shit. You gotta be kidding. So, yeah. I personally don't care for the Judgment Day faction. I know there's people out there that do, and they enjoy it. Me personally, I don't give two shits one way or another. It don't make a difference to me. So, that's just my thoughts. Anyway, let me move on here. All right, so let me go over some of the other comments that were made. A couple of comments that were made by Matt87 Eagle about the whole situation with the stream and everything. Matt87 Eagle states here that Nick Khanman replacing Stephanie and Bruce replaced Triple H. Okay, yeah, I know. Nick Khanman is replacing Stephanie McMahon and Bruce replaced Triple H. Vince got rid of everyone that hates him and got two D-riding yes men. I'm assuming dick riders. Anyway, Matt87 Eagle also states that WWE lied about Banks and Naomi leaving during the show, but they walked out hours before Raw went live. Yes, I already stated that, Matt. Thank you very much. And WWE has a tag team division? Absolutely not, Matthew. They have no fucking tag team division. They are a complete and utter joke. Dunata, I apologize if I mispronounced the first name. I think it's pronounced Duanta Roberts states that Finn Balor joining Judgment Day. Yeah, like I said to Rachel Buck, I don't believe that's going to happen because I think Finn Balor will outshine Edge if he takes on the Demon King role, which would work perfect with this Judgment Day faction. So personally, I think that would be their best bet to go with Finn Balor being the Demon. But unfortunately, that will not happen. We don't want Edge to be outshined by Finn Balor. You know, all the older guys are allowed to be successful. None of the newer guys or the guys that have been there for a while that are younger than the older guys deserve to have any kind of spotlight. I mean, come on. We can't have that. I mean, look at WCW back in the day. Hogan was always the star of attention. Everybody, the world title is always on him. From 1995 all the way to fucking 1999. Hell, on a January 4th, 1999, they were competing up against Raw with Mick Foley and The Rock headlining and main eventing the show, with Mick Foley winning his very first WWF championship against The Rock. And then in the same night, the same day, WCW Nitro's show with a world championship on the line has Kevin Nash standing there ready to defend his WCW championship with a former brethren named Hulk Hogan when the NWO split in half, going from Wolfpack and Hollywood NWOs. And all of a sudden, we see Hogan poke Kevin Nash. He falls on the floor as if he was just struck by lightning. and then allowed Hogan to pin him for a 1-2-3 to give him the championship. Now, let's face facts, folks. Nobody's going to ever get over in this company. It's dead. It has no existence. It is fucked beyond belief. And there ain't no way this show's coming back from this till somebody has ownership of it besides Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's ownership of this has killed this company beyond recognition. I cannot stand watching a Raw or SmackDown show. As you guys already know, if you've been following me for the last month or so, actually, you would already know that. So that's just my viewpoint on WWE and how they are in a nutshell. But yeah, Finn Balor, part of Judgment Day as Demon King, like that idea, but Edge wouldn't like it because he'd be outshined, and we don't want that. All right. Anyway, moving on. Matt 87 Eagle says that Bruce watched T2 one weekend. Yeah, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I know. You and I have had that talk, Matt. I understand. I even stated that to you as well. Duanta Roberts also states that, think about it. Why wasn't Finn on Raw? All right, well, if that happens, great. I would be happy to see Finn Balor join Judgment Day. I hope he would actually become a major asset to this faction. But I will be honest with you. I don't see WWE utilizing him in that kind of capacity. I just don't think they give a shit. But if you're right, hey, you're right. That's great. I'm glad to hear that somebody on here besides myself is right. But I don't see it happening. I just don't, because the Demon King part of the Judgment Day would be excellent. And they wouldn't need Edge for that. They wouldn't. Finn Balor, Demon King, the head of the table of this faction would kill it. They would fucking kill it as that group with Finn Balor as the Demon King in the front and center of the faction. No doubt. Easily. Matt 87 Eagle says that long hair Edge without question. We're talking about earlier from what I was talking about Edge having long hair compared to short hair. So yeah, like I said, Edge with long hair is better as a wrestler than short hair. It just doesn't feel right. NBA for life. He says Mr. McMahon only cares about the big money, cash, over delivering a good show. Oh yeah, I already know that. That's why I don't watch the fucking show. How can you not care? I can understand you care about the big cash, the money. But while you're doing that, why wouldn't you want to be able to make more money by producing a good show for everyone to enjoy? That's what he used to do. He used to produce good shows for people to enjoy while he made the money. Now he doesn't even do any of that. He don't give a fuck. Like, why should I care then? Why? I don't give a fuck how much money he's making. I'm a customer. I'm supposed to worry about what he's giving to me for me to enjoy and keep watching his show. If he's not giving me anything to watch and keep me intrigued, what's the point of me continuing to follow his fucking product? There is none. He's worthless. That's why I'm saying, like you just said, he only cares about the money, not delivering a good show. The bottom line is the reason why he cares only about the money and he doesn't give a shit about giving us a good show anymore is because he is looking to cash in big when he needs to sell off that company. So at this point, he's going to continue to give us terrible shows until he stops making that big cash money flow. And that's probably going to happen when Roman Reigns leaves. When Roman Reigns leaves the company, I believe that's when Vince McMahon's going to start losing money. And by the time after WrestleMania 39 is done, he's probably within the next couple of months. I'll even push it back, delay it. But I am predicting in 2023, he is selling off this company. And I guarantee you by SummerSlam or after SummerSlam of 2023, this company will no longer be in the hands of Vince McMahon. Now, all of you might be super happy and ecstatic about that and think there might be a positive change. But I seriously doubt that will even happen, because in the wrong hands, it can even get worse or possibly just end up completely dead, no longer being used by whoever buys out this fucking company. So there you go. There's a good and there's a bad to all of this. And personally, I don't think that there's going to be anything good coming out of this cell, because these freaking stations are telling Vince McMahon what to do with his product. They tell him when to cancel a fucking match. They tell him when he can do a match. They tell him what to do, where to do it, and how to do it. And he does it. And they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. So if they don't know what they're doing, how is someone who's not a hardcore wrestling fan going to know what to do with this product if they buy it out? The only one I would have any hopes for if they bought it out was Tony Khan. If Tony Khan bought out Vince McMahon, I would have high hopes for this company. I would. At least we probably wouldn't see WWE anymore, but we'd see a lot of good talent come to AEW and be utilized correctly. And the ones that don't want to come back to wrestling, well, then boy voyage, have a wonderful life. Go do whatever the hell you want at that point. That's all. Anyway, Matt87 Eagle says finger poke of doom was a disgrace. Yeah, I understand that, but I'll tell you what, the things we've been seeing on WWE as of late has been a bigger disgrace than whatever WCW did back in the day. Honestly, this is a total disrespect for everybody. The talent, the fans, everybody. And what I don't understand, I keep scratching my fucking head, is why do people continue to support this terrible product? There is no reason to support this product. If you're addicted, get some help. I mean, please, you need to stop torturing yourself. You're never going to get what you're looking for. At least with Tony Khan, if he makes a mistake, he fucks up. He'll make a mistake. There's no doubt about it. We all make mistakes. But Tony Khan always turns to his audience and asks them what they think he went wrong with the show if they're dissatisfied with it, and listen to them. That is a good promoter. That is a good booker. That is showing you give a shit about your audience. This guy, Vince, don't give a flying fuck about nothing. Not his talent, not his family, not anything but himself. He don't even give a shit about the yes men that are around him. You think he gives a fuck about Nick Khan, man? He don't give a shit about him. He's got him hired for one specific reason. He's a fucking pawn. He's good with financing. That is the only reason why Khan is there. He don't care for Khan if he disappeared tomorrow, as long as he got every bit of money he could get out of Nick Khan. That would be all he needs. He don't give a fuck about relationships with these people. What, you think he cares about Johnny Laurinaitis, people power? Yeah, sure he does. He gives a fuck about that, right? He don't give a fuck about John Laurinaitis either. He don't care about nobody. Look, man, he don't even care about his own fucking kids. Are you kidding me? When it comes to business, Vince McMahon don't care about nobody. Just himself. Maybe he cares about his kids personally. I'm not going to say he's a total fucking prick. I would hope not. But, you never know. The guy might be a total fucking prick. I'm just saying, man, this guy, when it comes to business, he don't give a fuck about nobody. He cares about him and him alone. He don't give a shit about nothing. He doesn't care. His whole family dislikes him. He don't give a shit about none of that. It's all business. Nothing personal. Nothing caring. No morale. No morals. No nothing. He'll backstab you even if he's your own flesh and blood. He don't give a fuck. When it comes to business, he will backstab your fucking ass. I don't care if he likes you, he don't like you, it don't matter. But sorry, that was my roommate checking out why I was talking so loud. Apologize about that. But that's what happens when you go on live streams. If you got people living with you. Anyway, Yeah, that is basically the situation with Vince McMahon at this point in time and everything else in WWE. Matt 87 Eagle says they then he what? Matt, you really fucked up here. I don't know what the hell you wrote here. I know you're talking about Becky Lynch and what she was wearing. Yeah, Becky Lynch. He's referring to Becky Lynch wearing the Jerry Seinfeld outfit when he was trying to be a pirate at I think it was that episode where he's trying to do a play or some shit. I saw it like a couple of months ago, first time ever, because I've never watched all the Jerry Seinfeld episodes, and I saw that. And when JD from New York 206 brought that up on his review, I was like, holy shit, really? She looked on it. You want to know honestly what I first thought when I saw the image on his video? This is what I thought. I saw the thumbnail and I said to myself, holy shit, she's trying to be Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me. Make me run there, baby. Oh man. I just it's crazy how even Becky Lynch she used to be. Could you imagine back in 2018 Becky Lynch acting the way she does now back then? Boy, would she be the most hated fucking character on TV, and it wouldn't even be because of the fact that she's really a good heel. They just can't stand looking at her because she's so fucking stupid looking. I mean, it's ridiculous the way she is look, her attitude, her whole entire personality sucks. It looks ridiculous. But let me read on what Matt said. So he watched Seinfeld and had Becky Lynch wear oh, you're talking about Bruce Pritchard. So he's saying that Bruce watched Seinfeld and had Becky wear Jerry's puffy shirt last night, and people wonder why Raw sucks. Matt, I don't even think having her in a leather black jacket would have gotten this show over. Um, I don't care if we get the old school Becky Lynch when she was the man, because honestly, she this show is fucking I don't think any old concept from back when wrestling was still good. Use one little concept could even convince me to watch this. Fuck, even Cody Rhodes being part of this product does not even get me interested to watch even his one segment that he has per week. I mean, I don't care about anything that goes on in the show. I do one pay-per-view a month reviews, unless they have two a month, and then I'll, give them two pay-per-view reviews. But other than that, I don't do anything else for WWE. I can't. It's just mind-numbingly dumb to sit through all that shit. All right, next one, and then I will go into the rest of the news that I want to talk about here today. CEO of Berserk says, who do you think has the chance to be the next big thing if it could happen? You talking about in WWE? Oh my God. CEO of Berserk. Bro, there ain't nobody going to be the next big thing in WWE. You want to talk about in all of wrestling? I'll say MJF. Specifically just WWE. That is not even a question I can answer you. Seriously, I cannot answer your question. That is just the most pathetic thing to even ask. Not saying you're pathetic or anything, but I would love to be able to say that there's a next big thing in WWE, but there's one small problem. There's nothing going on in WWE to see that there's anything next thing that could be big within that company. So at the end of the day, CEO of Berserk, there's nothing going to happen there. And he just answered me back and said, yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to insult you, man. I appreciate the question and everything, but I can't really answer that question because there's nothing available to me to even remotely say there is a next big thing, because nobody can be utilized the correct way and make them feel logically, a common thing, a normal everyday activity. These people are always smiling. Why are they always smiling? Are we dealing with politicians or are we dealing with wrestlers? We're dealing with sports entertainers. Okay, well, let's go with the sports entertainer mentality at this point and go over that type of insight there. Honestly, even with that, come on, you're gonna tell me there's they have a reason to smile? There is no reason for anyone to be smiling on this show. Personally, I think people should be pissed off. Whatever happened to the Randy Savage, the Hulk Hogan's, and the Ultimate Warrior promos, man? Where's the fucking intensity? I'd like to see some of that. Legitimate intensity. I used to hate the fact that wrestlers used to scream like fucking maniacs. But I'll be honest with you. At this point in the level of where WWE is at, I think them screaming and acting like raving lunatics would probably benefit them a little bit more than what we get nowadays in promos with these dumb promos that go, "Yes, I'm going to defeat you. I'm going to end you. You have betrayed me." Come up with these fancy words that people normally don't use in an everyday sentence. I mean, give me a fucking break, man. Can you imagine The Rock being in this type of fucking WWE? I think he'd have left a long time ago. Holy shit. You think his career would have been at least 10, 12 years, man? Are you kidding? He started in 1996 and he pretty much stopped wrestling by like 8 years or so. I guarantee you, if The Rock would have worked in WWE in today's modern day wrestling and he would have been used in this type of this way, I guarantee he would have been running to Hollywood in less than 2 years. I guarantee you. The first thing that anyone could ever see, that man having any kind of personality, charismatic charisma, and just the ability to talk on a microphone, and they saw Hollywood could see that and they utilized him in something, he would have been gone long time ago. I mean, seriously, a long time ago. Long before 8 years. I'm just putting it that way. But that's pretty much all I got to say at this point. Let me go over some of these other losing track of what the fuck I'm saying. Let me go over some of these other articles or stories that I saved on my phone real quick and go over this with you guys. Bookmarks. All right. Okay, here's a good one. And then I'm going to go over Stephanie McMahon. NBA for Life says, be honest, Sasha Banks has beef with Ronda Rousey. I don't think she has beef with Ronda Rousey. I just don't see the point. And here's the reason why she left with Naomi. What is the point? And I stated this on last week's episode. I said, what is the point of having two tag team champions compete over singles world championships and lose to both of them while they're the champions? There is no point. They don't benefit. The tag team titles don't benefit from it. And since they have tag team titles on them, why wouldn't they want to try to make the tag team division, more prestigious? You have the titles. You might want to put some effort in making the titles mean something. Or better yet, why don't you do what WCW did with WWE's Women's Championship and put that son of a bitch straight in a fucking garbage can and forget about it? I think that's probably a better idea than worrying about tag team titles or a tag team tournament to crown new tag team champions for the women's division. What a fucking joke. And by the way, they're going to include the NXT women's tag team division into this, yet nobody is going to be allowed to go on Raw or SmackDown later on after this tournament is over. So at the end of the day, they're already giving you spoilers that anyone that is an NXT tag team wrestler in this tournament will lose eventually or initially right in the first round of the tournament. So it don't fucking matter anyway. So the spoilers are already out there without even knowing about it, without even having the matches take place. People will know that anyone that's an NXT tag team will lose. What's the point? There is no point. The titles are worthless. Dump them, trash them, include the 24/7 championship. That's a worthless piece of shit title, too. Who needs them? They're crap. Jesus Christ. Anyway, getting into some really entertaining and funny news. This also has a connection to something else. 73-year-old Ric Flair. Oh my God. Ric Flair wants to wrestle again. Earlier last week, he went ahead and made a statement that he is going to be wrestling again. He is also training with Jay Lethal at this point in time to do a special little event, which is a six-man tag team match, and he's going to be in it. Now, somebody withdrew from the match. It was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So he's actually out of the picture. Now there is comments being made right now that what's his face? Hulk Hogan is planning on making an in-ring return for this uh a one-time only return to wrestling. This is nuts. Hogan is coming back as well as Ric Flair. I can't believe this shit. Let me pull up the article. Oh, here we go. It's for Starcast, by the way. And Ric Flair addresses the rumor about this, about Hulk Hogan wrestling at Starcast 5. So let me read it what he had to say. During the podcast on adfreeshows.com, Ric Flair talked about the rumor that he'll be wrestling Hulk Hogan at Starcast 5. Conrad Thompson started the conversation. Here we are talking about what's causing all this, Rick. Another week has gone by, and you have captivated the internet. There's so much speculation, unbelievably. I saw yesterday that people think you're going to be wrestling Hulk Hogan. I mean, I know we're saying it's a who's who, and there's going to be big surprises, but goodness gracious, I don't think it's going to be even Hulk Hogan. Did I miss that? And he said, Flair responds saying, not that I know. I think you would have run that by me. He invited. I've talked to him personally to come on the to the roast and come watch the match. But yeah, he hasn't confirmed for sure, but I'm pretty sure he'll be there. Folks, this is a big, big problem. Hogan is going to wrestle. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And there was some rumor that he had some minor health issue and he's going to come back to. When are these fucking old bastards going to learn? When are they going to learn? I mean, I love how much they appreciate the business, but my God, give it a rest. Go do something else with your life. Go do commentary for wrestling. Be a manager. Something, but don't get in the ring. You don't need to. You love the business, hang around, but you don't have to get physical in it. The fuck, man? Shit. Ric Flair, I tell you, man, he's the craziest son of a bitch I ever heard in wrestling, man. I've never met him personally. He reminds me of my old grandfather. My grandfather was a party animal till the day he died. He liked to drink. He loved to smoke. He loved to do every fucking retarded thing known to man that's bad for your health. And he loved to gamble too. And he gambled like a fucking drunken sailor too, on top of that, and made himself go broke and get into debt. But man, that Ric Flair, man, he's got women out his ass. He's got marriages that he's had divorce from. He's got alimony checks that he has to pay for. At least I think he does. I think maybe that's been discontinued since probably his other relationships that he's been divorced from have found other significant others. So once you get married, your alimony paychecks no longer go to the woman you divorced. But still, man, I mean, like, this guy, he digs through money like nobody's business. It's ridiculous. NBA for Life, by the way, states that Call Medusa she threw the women's so Call Medusa so she can throw the women's tag team titles in the trash. Love it. Thank you, NBA for Life. That's true, man. They ought to call Medusa and get her on the show. I mean, they already put her in the Hall of Fame. What would be so bad putting her on the show just to take the two titles and throw them in the trash can? Hell, you can whip out JBL and get a fucking get C4, put it inside the trash can, blow that bitch up. Maybe C4 actually would be a little too much. Probably blow up the whole arena. Oh, man. But seriously, man, it's a crying shame, man. Really, it's a fucking crying shame. But yeah, Hogan is possibly going to be wrestling again along with Ric Flair. This is fucking sick. I'm not even making this shit up. It's ridiculous. All right. So let's talk about Stephanie McMahon. Oh my goodness, we're talking about another McMahon besides Vince. Let's find out the real reason why she walked away from her duties in WWE, because supposedly they have more info on this. So what's being said about the mystery surrounding Stephanie McMahon's WWE hiatus? All right, let's go over it. As previously noted, WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon announced that she will be taking a leave of absence from the majority of her WWE responsibilities. During the podcast on pwtorchvip.com, Wade Keller addressed Stephanie McMahon's hiatus. I have been told not to expect the reasons that Stephanie is stepping away to come out. But the implication is there are reasons. So this isn't going to be a public scandal, but it's something. That's about as much as I know at this point in time. So basically, and JD reported the same thing I'm reporting. I thought this was something different. But he does go on and say whatever is going on sounds like it's just very private. I have not been given any indications of what it is. And so it's a private and personal matter. It could have to do with Vincent McMahon or Shane or Triple H. It also could have to do with something completely different within the family or something completely different going on. I just can say that I'm pretty sure it will not get out, at least not imminently. It's probably not going to be something that's like making headlines or anything like that. So that's pretty much what was stated there. So her main reason, from what I've gotten through my research over the past weekend, was the fact that she is just wanting to take care of her kids. Now, if she had that mentality, she probably would have, you know, gotten away from WWE a long time ago. I think there's two things. I think it has a lot to do with her husband being sick for all of 2021 with that severe heart condition issue. I think because of her age and because her children are getting older, I do believe that does play a factor in it. So that's another reason. And I think another big reason is she just does not like the direction of this company, just like everybody else. I honestly don't think she gives two flying fucks to be part of this operation anymore. That's just my viewpoint on it. So between those three things, I think that is the reason why she's stepping away from WWE. And I think she will be gone for good. I don't think she's coming back. So that's just my viewpoint on that. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Also in the comments down below if you happen to not get here live on the stream. So hope to hear from you guys on that with the Steph McMahon issue. Anyway, let's move on to one other thing I want to talk about, and then we will close up shop here today. And that is the betting odds of the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Yes, Las Vegas got betting odds for Double or Nothing. Go figure that one out. But I think it'd be kind of interesting to talk about AEW stuff since I've talked about WWE long enough in this fucking live stream. I'd like to talk about something a little bit more positive. I mean, granted, AEW has their flaws, but shit, at least they care about their customers. Anyway, let's go over some of the betting odds taking place in these matches. So, the AEW World Championship, they're saying CM Punk is the favorite over Hangman Page. CM Punk is a negative 150, which he's favored for, with Hangman a plus 110. So he's a slight underdog, Hangman Page, while CM Punk is the favorite. The AEW Women's Championship, betting odds is giving Thunder Rosa a huge advantage with a 1-6 odd of winning, being at a negative 600, and Serena Deeb plus 340. That's pretty bad. Serena Deeb is a definite underdog in that one. If they were to change their mind and allow Serena Deeb to dethrone Thunder Rosa, why, you guys would make a pretty good amount of cash with that. TBS Women's Championship match with Jade Cargill. They're giving Jade Cargill negative 1,600, while Anna Jay is plus 600. Anna Jay won. Again, you guys would get a huge fucking payback on that. But I wouldn't bet on Anna Jay beating Jade Cargill at all. AEW World Tag Team titles. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus are the favorites. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland and Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks are plus 250, plus 250. They're both 250, both teams. I would say that the Jurassic Express will retain their tag team titles in that one. Singles match between Wardlow and MJF. They're favoring Wardlow in this with a negative 600 and MJF plus 340. Now, I got to say this to you guys. I think MJF as an underdog would possibly be a beneficial bet for you guys to go with. Possibly. Since he's fucking MJF, he's a top star in the company. I would throw like $10 on that. Just for the sake of saying maybe they throw a swerve in there, throw a little monkey wrench in there and kind of fuck people's predictions up. Something like that, maybe. I would definitely go with a $10 bet on MJF being an underdog in this. All right, Moxley and the Anarchy in the arena match with Moxley and Danielson, Santana Ortiz, and Eddie Kingston are the favorites against the Jericho Appreciation Society by a small margin. They're negative 150, while the JAS is plus 110. I might throw a $10 bill on JAS if I was to bet on this. They're a slight underdog. They could have a shot at winning this match. The tag team match between the Young Bucks and the Hardys. They're saying the Hardys are the underdog with a plus 150. Young Bucks negative 200 being the favorites. What? That's insane. That is fucking crazy, man. I don't understand how the fuck that can be the case. I would say the Young Bucks are not the winners. I'd go with the Hardys on that one. Holy shit. Hook and Danhausen are major favorites, negative 1,200. Tony Nese and Mark Sterling are plus 500. I wouldn't even care to do a bet on that. That's just whatever. House of Black, negative 140. So they're the favorites in this one. Death Triangle is plus 100, being the underdogs. I would take the House of Black. I think the House of Black is overdue for a major win against Death Triangle. So that's what I would go with at this point in time. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream of Random Wrestling Talk, episode number 19. I appreciate you guys coming in, having a conversation with me. It was great talking to you guys. If you guys want to leave any comments down below, if you happen to catch this after the live stream, by all means, go ahead. I'd love to hear from you guys. Leave a comment in the comments down below, and I'll definitely answer back to you guys on that. On top of that, guys, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, what the fuck are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and continue on to watch my content. Because guess what, guys? I always deliver, man. I always do. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you coming in and watching the video. For the ones that catch it after the live stream, hope you enjoyed it. And I'll speak to you guys very soon. Speak to you later, guys. Bye.